third, second chance. You take my breath and I can't get it back. Might be time for me to face the facts. The best me is with you, but I know I got a lot to prove. They think we're too damaged to fix, but we're just working through a little rust. They like to say we're just young, but I know we won't give this up. Sometimes I lose my mind, and some days it's hard to find the reason why you stay by my side. You and I break our hearts open in half just to see if we'll put them back. No matter what they try, I'll stay by your side. It's you and
Hey, hey, hey. Hello, everyone. How are you guys? First, I owe you guys a huge apology because I did not stream on Wednesday or Thursday, Friday. I had a really busy week. I should have updated you guys and let you know, but so I apologize for that. But I hope you guys had a great rest of your week last week and a great weekend. It's good to see you guys again. So I know you finally caught me. I'm trying to go earlier in April, so hopefully that's a better time. So it's good to see you. Hey, William, Sarah, motherfucking Z. Yes, everyone, please hit the like. Cree, it's good to see you. Balti, always good to see you. Hey, Kristen and Z. Nurse Jen, hey. Hey, Maria. I know Heidi's live doing a members right now, so I hate to interrupt her stream. I love that little heart with the dogs. Hey, sweets. I was so bummed. I went to go watch your live and it was over by the time I was able to get over there. So I'm going to have to watch replay on that. So let me actually open if Georgie comes in here, because she's been kind of covering this stuff with me. So I told her she's always able to come on if she wants. Which one is it? One sec. Oh, nope, I don't want to remove it. Oh, oh, excuse me. Oh, excuse me. Ugh, they're mowing the lawn outside, and I ran out there real quick just to see how far along it is since I was getting ready to stream. And every time they mow the lawn, I get a huge headache from it, and it just totally jacks up my allergies. So, okay. Hey, Napa. So some of you guys probably heard that there was another lawsuit filed in the Diddy family, which would be so in the last lawsuit, which I still need to finish with Rodney Jones, the producer, and Diddy, and Cuba Gooding Jr., and various other defendants. That included his son, Justin. Well, this lawsuit includes the son, Christian. So it's a different son. And this case involves a stewardess, a bartender, that was on board a yacht that Diddy leased for his family. So some of you guys may have heard that. And this case is through, it's not through federal court. This one is actually through California. So California is a lot tougher to get documents from unless you have access into their court system to get them, or if you want to pay a huge fee every month. So, um, and it took me a while to, I wanted to go live about it over the weekend, and then I've just been so busy. So, anyways, are you guys familiar with this new one that was filed? And I will say that this does include the same lawyer that was filed in the other lawsuit. So, Blackburn is the attorney for this case as well. And he is, I haven't seen an approval yet for it, but he is applying to represent Gracie in California Pro Hoc Vice. So, um, and he's going through Diggs, who is the same lawyer in the other case as well. It gets kind of confusing because they're basically swapping spots. This is new to you? Okay. This complaint isn't as lengthy. This one is only 30 pages, but it's not it's 31 pages, but it's not as, it has a preservation notice on it, which is standard for any case. So I'm not even going to go through that. So that will cut some of the documents down. So, but I went and found the actual yacht that is being discussed in this complaint. And so I figured I would show you, there's various videos on it, and I went and found one that is just only a 2-minute video, just to kind of, I'm a visual type of person. So when I go through this and you're going to see highlights all over this, and this is more or less for me to keep track of what's what. Um, it's just a way of me being able to identify what the hell I'm looking at. And there are various colors for this reason. But I'm a visual type of person. I like to I kind of get a picture of what took place, where this happened at. And so I did go and find this yacht. And I figured I would start out by playing this short 2-minute video. If you guys are interested in like a full tour of this, I did find a video on that, but it's a lot longer. So I can always add that in the description. You guys will have to let me know. But I'll play this 2-minute video and just kind of give you guys an overview of what yacht is, what yacht is being discussed in this complaint. So let me share my screen. Okay, here we go. And this yacht is called, okay, I turned off the volume on it, but it is the, oh shoot, it's the Victorious, I think is what it was called. But I'll play this for you guys. It's only 2 minutes. Some of these yachts are just ginormous. Like they're bigger than most people's houses. Right, Napa? Hey, Lauren Marie, good to see you. And I think that the yacht is for sale right now for let me think. It was either 125 million or 133 million. It was one of the two. But it is for sale if someone wants to buy it. Paul Ricardo, that was a motocross track I just saw on that. Monaco. The manufacturer for these yachts comes out of Turkey. So these are manufactured in Turkey, I learned when I was researching it. Like, it's huge. So anyways, hopefully that gives you guys kind of a overview of what we're working with when we're going to look at this complaint. Let me pull my StreamYard or Streamlabs back up. There we go. I know, like I would sell everything just to go travel in that thing. I mean, I wouldn't know how to drive it. I'd probably be stuck at sea because I wouldn't know how to dock it. I'd be like, someone's gonna have to come get me because I don't even know how to dock this thing. So, I mean, maybe if we all pitched in, we could combine our money and we'd have enough, right? I mean, I wonder how much it costs to even lease something like that. I can't imagine that's even cheap. It's got to be a lot of money. And then to hire a captain and staff for it. No, he has not been arrested. So this case has, let me tell you. Actually, I'll just go down on the document here. You guys can see my screen. So the causes of action in this case is for, it's just a little delayed, I see. It's for assault, battery, sexual assault, premises liability, aiding and abetting, intentional infliction of emotional distress, negligent infliction of emotional distress. It does cite some, hey, Fancy Feast, it does cite some statutes in it, and I went and pulled those as well. And then it also took me to some laws that, if we're interested in looking at that later, we can look at that as well. So this case is, this was filed on April 4th. Let's see where my paper is. Is that too big, or do you want me to make it smaller? I think that's going to be okay. I think it looks pretty good on my end, I think. And you guys can hear me okay, right? If you have that yacht, you would have a captain. Yeah. I mean, you'd probably have to have two captains, I would think, because one of them would need to sleep. This is civil. Hey, Gamecock Jenny. Hey, Mari. This is civil, and they cite California law that is, there is a 3-year statute of limitations that they can go back on if this opens the door for them to make it criminal, because they cite all of this being in 2022. So, but yeah, this is civil. So here we go. Let's really hope I don't make you guys dizzy. Oh, you guys probably saw the heading, but it's um, Gracie O'Marque. I believe that's how she pronounces it. And then it's Christian Combs, Sean Combs, John and Jane Doe's, and ABC Corporations. And again, as I said before, your John and Jane Doe's are not identified, and your ABC corporations are your unidentified corporations, in case they add someone later, or they are just anonymous right now. So the parties, thankfully, they didn't put addresses in this complaint because in the last one, they doxed everyone's home address for everybody in it, which is, I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, they're all public figures in a sense, but I think everybody deserves privacy. So, and we've got the parties, plaintiff, Grace, hereinafter plaintiff, is a European Caucasian female who worked as a stewardess in the yachting industry since 2018. Plaintiff's love of yachting started at an early age and was the foundation on which she had built her career. Through yachting, Plaintiff has traveled the world, met many new friends and colleagues, and enjoyed a very successful career. Throughout her career, Plaintiff has always worked well in teams and received high praises, great feedback from her managers and colleagues. Plaintiff also consistently received explanatory reviews from her clients for her excellent customer service, as well as glowing references. Uh, got promotions. I'm just kind of skipping forward through this. Prior to being sexually assaulted by defendant Christian Combs, hereinafter defendant C. Combs, plaintiff planned to work the entirety of her career in hospitality and the yachting industry. Unfortunately, those plans had been derailed due to the trauma plaintiff continues to have as a result of the assault. And then I like how they use probably the most uh, egregious looking photograph of him, as if there weren't enough photographs of him out there. It's like, oh, let's use the recent raid as a photograph. Defendant C. Combs is a 25-year-old auto-tuned and heavily edited rapper. I was like, oh, someone's being totally petty in this document here. When I saw that, I was like, what the hell? Is a 25-year-old auto-tuned and heavily edited rapper. Listen, if someone wrote that about me, I'd be like, okay, who wants to throw hands? Like this guy wants to throw hands. If that was your career. Unfortunately, as the saying has it, the apple does not fall far from the tree. Defendant Sean Combs, defendant S. Combs, who has also been accused of several acts of sexual assault, rape, sexual violence, and drugging, among other deplorable conduct, is the father of defendant C. Combs, who has seemingly taken after his father and the family business of reckless partying, drugging others, sexual violence, and other illegal conduct. Sorry, like the way this, they're just like, oh, let's just, right. I don't know. I shouldn't laugh at the way that this is written, but the way that they just talk mad shit in this complaint, I don't know, but it's kind of comical, I'm not going to lie. Specifically, defendant C. Combs is the second child of billionaire defendant S. Combs and his late ex-partner, Kim Porter. And then it just talks about where he resides and a really pixelated picture of P. Diddy. Defendant Sean Combs, hereinafter defendant S. Combs, is a rapper and record executive, popularly known as his stage name's Puff Daddy. We all know this. Puffy, P. Diddy, Diddy, Brother Love or Love. And then it talks about when he became famous in the early 1990s. I mean, I think everybody knows about Diddy and where he came from, what he did. So I'll just kind of skip over that a little bit. And then it says, during the relevant period, defendants John and Jane Doe's 1 through 10 are currently unknown individuals and or employees who aided and or abetted in the commission of conduct complained of herein and or either acted within the scope of their employment. Defendants ratified, embraced, and added to this conduct. As parties engage in discovery, plaintiff retains the right to amend the complaint to add these individuals' employees by name. During the relevant period, defendants ABC Corp's 1 through 10 are currently unknown entities who employed plaintiff or aided and or abetted in the commission of conduct complained herein. As the parties engage in discovery, plaintiff retains the right to amend the complaint to add these entities or individuals by name. Hey, Irish Lass, good to see you. And then it's got jurisdiction, which we talked about is in California. This is a federal case. And then facts common to all cause. That red's kind of dark if I'm looking at it on my other screen. I might have to stop using that red. Sorry, just a side note, because I try to look at my other screen so I can be aware of what needs to change in future streams. So if you guys ever see something that needs changed, like always feel free to let me know because I always want to work towards improving. So I take all the criticism and I appreciate that if you do let me know. So, okay, facts common to all causes of action. This is in or around July 22nd, Grace O'Marque. I had to actually Google this how it sounded on her name because it looked and sounded different. So you can judge me for that. Was working on Victorious, a super yacht built by Yacht and owned and operated by Fraser. Plaintiff worked as a temporary second stewardess for the company Equium FW, whatever that means, FW 049IC. Plaintiff worked in her temporary position for a month on Victorious, then was subsequently offered a permanent position due to her professionalism, passion for the job, and great customer service skills. In or about September 22nd, 2022, plaintiff had been part of a dedicated team at Monaco Boat Show tasked with selling charters for Victorious to high net worth clients such as C. Combs and S. Combs. In December 2022, plaintiff and her team were advised that the yacht had been successfully chartered for the 2022 holiday period. Plaintiff changed her personal holiday family plans to accommodate the charter service and flew to St. Martin to prepare for the yacht service. Plaintiff soon learned that the client who chartered the yacht was defendant S. Combs and his family. Defendant S. Combs leased the yacht and had full control of the staff and premises of the yacht. You think it would be a great job? I don't know. Like I've worked with celebrity clients and hey Cooch, and some of them are very, very nice, but some of them are extremely demanding. There's a reality TV um, celebrity that I worked with. Uh, was it a year ago? And he was very nice, but it was like snap, snap, snap. I need it now. No, no, no. And that was just stressful. Okay, let's see. Although plaintiff was used to working in discreet and VIP environments, this was one of her first times working with an A-list celebrity. Because of this, plaintiff and the rest of the team assigned to the yacht were determined to make the holiday special for defendants S. Combs and his family. I'm trying to see. For the duration of the trip, plaintiff was assigned the 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. shift along with one other crew member. This shift, commonly known as the late shift, was very busy. Late shift duties include dinner and drink service for clients for the entire 12-hour period. Dinner and drink service had to be carried out with minimum staff support or backup during the night shift since only 2 individuals were assigned. Defendant S. Combs was always typically on the yacht. His sons, Defendant C. Combs and Justin Combs, were staying in a luxury villa nearby but joined their father aboard the yacht most evenings. During the second week of the charter service, there was a significant amount of partying and drug use, which caused the guests to stay up throughout the night. The makeup of the yacht quickly evolved from just defendants S. Combs and his family to include constant rotation of suspected sex workers and other A-list celebrities, such as French Montana and actor Cuba Gooding Jr. Hey, Steven, good to see you. Defendants S. Combs turned what was sold as a wholesome family excursion into a hedonistic environment. Basically, that's a seductive type of an environment for those who don't know that word. According to plaintiff, it resulted in an unexpected increase in workload for her and her colleagues, as well as unwanted exposure to unlawful drug use, sex work, and general chaos. Okay, I'm going to pause for a second. Now, I'm not trying to be judgmental here. However, if you are in this lifestyle of being a stewardess for these celebrity clients, I mean, I would assume that seeing drug use this isn't the first time this occurs. You know what I'm saying? Like, I imagine that it's a kind of a common thing. Maybe not openly, I don't know. And I'm sure that they have non-disclosure agreements to work for this company. But I would be surprised if Diddy's family and his associates that were on board with him was the first occurrence where she's experienced drug use. Or even, I don't know about sex work. I mean, maybe that's happened before. I don't know about that, but drug use for sure. I don't know. I mean, I get that with a complaint, anybody can sue anything for anything. you know, for whatever. And you can put whatever you want in a complaint. I mean, obviously, they said that his son was auto-tuned, which, I mean, let's be honest here. Anybody that puts a record is most likely auto-tuned to some degree. But I find it hard to believe that this was her first experience with, oh gosh, I got a cough. Hold on one second. Oh, sorry. I should have never gone in the backyard when they're mowing. Or maybe it's drugs. I don't know. So, hey, Christoph. Anyways, I'll keep going, but that was just a random thought about. It's hard to believe that this was her first time seeing drug use on a celebrity VIP yacht. So, um, let's see. It also created an extremely hazardous environment. For example, guests often demanded drink service until 6 a.m. Staff was often treated with disrespect. Suspected sex workers were sprawled out unconscious about the yacht, and it was difficult to distinguish which bottles of alcohol were laced with drugs and which bottles were not. Okay, real talk, if I was on that yacht with all that booze, you'd probably find me unconscious too. I'm not gonna lie, I'll admit that openly. Call me brown liquor rakin, because I'd be passed the fuck out. Okay, let's see. And I don't even drink, by the way, but I still would be. It is important to note that as a bartender, plaintiff understands the impact of alcohol and the likelihood that a person would not generally become intoxicated following one mixed drink. Because of this, plaintiff found it suspicious that after one shot of De Leon tequila or one mixed drink, various women on the yacht would be falling over themselves, panicking, and passing out. This led plaintiff to reasonably believe that the alcohol given these women was likely laced with drugs. Are these new people coming forward? Are, are you talking about, this is a new Diddy lawsuit that was filed, Christoph Vance. It was filed against Christian Combs, Diddy, or Sean Combs, as stated in the documents, by the stewardess that was on board his yacht, or his leased yacht, I should say. Some of the, just to kind of explain my thought process with this highlighting. If you see something in yellow, it kind of points out Rodney Jones, or it has footnotes in it. Just so when I'm looking for something, I can quickly find it. But Rodney Jones, so I could connect it to the other lawsuit, so I can go back and forth between them. Sometimes I like to see if their claims match up or refer back to them. So if you see the green, that's what that is. So it says, plaintiff was aware that Rodney Jones, Mr. Jones, a producer who was employed to work on the Love album Off the Grid, was required to be on standby for musical recordings often late into the night. The Love album Off the Grid is the fifth studio album by American rapper and record producer Sean Diddy Combs, released on September 15th, 2023. Mr. Jones was accepted as an extended member of the service staff and spent time with plaintiff at the service bar and piano room where he played the piano. Oh, huh. It's interesting. Extended member of the service staff. That's a service bar. I didn't realize that. Hmm. On or about the early morning of December 28th, 2022, the evening shift started as normal. At about 5 a.m., plaintiff was messaged on the on duty phone that defendant C. Combs would be joining the yacht by tender, a small craft that runs back and forth from a larger yacht and used for servicing and providing support and entertainment to a private or charter yacht. Defendant C. Combs wanted to be brought over to Victorious to record in the yacht's makeshift recording studio with Mr. Jones. I don't remember Rodney Jones being listed as a service member to work on like play the piano and shit. I thought he was there like to actually work on the Love album. Like he was added as a service member. That makes me think of someone that like plays the piano at a strip mall or something. Okay. Although it is not unheard of for defendant C. Combs to come aboard at such a late hour, he usually stayed at his dwelling offshore overnight, particularly when there was no party on board on any given night. Defendant C. Combs arrived in the tender and was heavily intoxicated. Plaintiff suspects defendant C. Combs was intoxicated from the mixture of narcotics and alcohol. Upon entering the recording studio, defendant C. Combs started ordering that tequila shots be poured from the bottle of alcohol he may have brought onto the yacht. Ironically, defendant C. Combs was playing Cassie's Me and You. That's kind of funny. Was playing in the background. Cassie was an artist under S. Combs and was his former love interest who also accused S. Combs of serious sexual and mental abuse. In the studio, defendant C. Combs asked that plaintiff bring the shots to the recording studio sun deck, and plaintiff obliged as she was the only serving steward at the time. Plaintiff noticed immediately that she was particularly attentive with her, which she considered very inappropriate. However, plaintiff began to become concerned when he insisted that she take shots of tequila he may have brought on board the yacht. Under pressure and wanting to be polite, plaintiff obliged. Prior to this, the plaintiff witnessed defendant S. Combs create a Black Santa video, which showed him demanding the captain, various head of departments, and crew take a shot of tequila with him. Let's see. As this was a pattern established by the captain of the yacht and defendant S. Combs, plaintiff felt comfortable knowing that Mr. Jones was present and didn't think anything more of it. She felt that she could take one shot and he would let her return to the pantry. According to plaintiff, at this point the mood changed and things became sinister. Defendant C. Combs insisted that plaintiff stay chatting and that she sit beside him. Plaintiff resisted and remained polite, asking to leave. Defendant C. Combs became aggressive and insisted that plaintiff take a further shot and sit beside him. It is going to start to get more graphic coming up, so I'm just letting you know ahead of time. We're about 4 lines away from it getting more graphic. So at this point, defendant C. Combs violently grabbed plaintiff's arm and began hurting her. He pulled plaintiff to the seat beside him and prevented her from getting up. Plaintiff insisted that she had to return to the pantry, but her pleas fell on deaf ears. Angered, defendant C. Combs forced plaintiff to take another shot. Plaintiff was quite scared and realized she was in a very dangerous situation. Plaintiff was also feeling the effect of the tequila shots and quickly suspected that the tequila was spiked. At this point, the situation escalated and plaintiff started to be physically assaulted by defendant C. Combs. He touched plaintiff's legs, breast, anus, and vagina. He also tried to kiss her and proceeded to kiss her neck, face, and hands. The timeline at this point is very blurry and vague to plaintiff as she does not recall exactly what happened to her due to the effects of the spiked tequila shots. Luckily for plaintiff, due to defendant S. Combs' insistence on Mr. Jones recording everything, Mr. Jones has an audio recording of defendant C. Combs drugging and sexually assaulting plaintiff. Oh my God, that's terrible. That's really fucking terrible. Below is the transcript of defendant C. Combs forcing plaintiff to consume the suspected laced shots of De Leon tequila. And it says, audio 1, defendant C. Combs. Yo, it's shot o'clock. Plaintiff. No, I'm not doing shots. Christian. Defendant C. Combs. Everybody, we got to take a shot. Audio 2. Plaintiff. I'll just put the ledge. Defendant C. Combs. No, no, no. Take the whole thing. Plaintiff. No, you will take it as well. Defendant C. Combs. Take the whole shot. Plaintiff. I'm only doing it as long as you take it as well. Defendant C. Combs. I ain't going to lie. I'm not taking nothing. Please, please take the shot. Plaintiff. Are you drugging me? Defendant C. Combs. Take the shot. Hey, yo, play another beat one time because now. Below is the transcript of defendant C. Combs' sexual assault of plaintiff. Oh God. If they can, this is going to be really bad when they play this in court. Cassie, Me and You featuring P. Diddy and, wait, is that supposed to say young Jock? Isn't it young Jill? I don't know. Playing in the background. Plaintiff, this is not an offer. Defendant C. Combs. You said what? Plaintiff, I can't. I'm swapping out. I can't do it. I'm sorry, darling. Plaintiff C. Combs. Nah, we need you. Plaintiff, I'm going to stop. Stop. I have to go. I have to go. Honestly, I'm like already losing sleep. I have to go now. Plaintiff C. Combs. You're the best one on this ship, though. Plaintiff, what do you mean? Defendant C. Combs. Who's going to replace you? Plaintiff. Who's going to replace me? Defendant C. Combs. Fuck that. That's going to be trash, though. You feel me? Plaintiff. Excuse me. You don't touch my legs like that. I'll move my legs where I want to. Plaintiff. If I want to do this, then I will. You don't touch my legs like that. Defendant C. Combs. Listen, you and everybody in the crew. It's great. Plaintiff. I can't. I have to go down. I have to go down. Defendant C. Combs. No. Yo, listen to me. No. Yo, tell me. Listen. Plaintiff. What? Defendant C. Combs. Like you say, you're just vibing with me the whole time. Plaintiff. I can't. I promise you. I wish I could, but I can't. Unless I say that you guys requested me. Defendant C. Combs. Yes. Who can I talk to right now? Who can I talk to? I'm going to say I requested you right now. Plaintiff. Well, you can take your hand off my ass for the first thing. Jesus, Lord. This is awful. Terrible. Hold on, I'm going to cough real quick. this guy, this guy's a shitbag. Like, they're so entitled. They think that they can just pressure people like this and just touch them. Like, I mean, we weren't even there, but you could just feel it. Like, she was not comfortable whatsoever, and she was clearly feeling violated. Like, oh my God, disgusting motherfuckers. Excuse me, but that. And I'm sure that she was scared as hell to even report this, which is probably why we haven't heard of any arrest for this or charges for this. You know what I'm saying? I just, I hope that because of this lawsuit, um, and she's got counsel now, that it opens the door for her to look into pressing charges. I mean, if she's got these audio recordings, it's going to help her to do so. There is a law that I can pull up after this and show you guys what I'm talking about. So, but yeah, this this is fucking terrible. And you know, it's sad that it takes one big celebrity, in a sense, to go down or to be made an example for people to take notice of things like this, because I'm sure that a lot of this happens all the time and it's never reported on because they're too scared. Okay, so sorry for my little tangent there. That's so disgusting and scintillating. I'm sure all these people that are on board this had to sign some sort of NDA or something. And it says, according to the plaintiff, she would have to be requested because she knew anyone of authority who would approve the request was asleep. Defendant C. Combs would not have been able to contact them, and plaintiff could then leave. Look at Bill Cosby. Yeah, that's true. It's very true. After being assaulted in the recording studio, plaintiff attempted to resume her duties that night. She made her way to the pantry where she met another steward who was assigned to take over the shift. Her colleague recognized that plaintiff was visibly intoxicated, in shock, and trying to finish the shift. Shortly after returning to the pantry, defendant C. Combs called for plaintiff. He went looking for her and demanded that she find him a place to sleep on the yacht. At such a late hour of the night, there were no spare cabins for defendant C. Combs to stay in. Despite this, he refused to go back to shore. The most acceptable place for him to sleep that night was in the cinema. Plaintiff directed him to the cinema, which was commonly used as an extra sleeping area. The cinema has one door to exit and enter. Plaintiff entered the room and defendant C. Combs blocked her from exiting. Plaintiff retreated to a corner of the room and defendant C. Combs became physical and extremely aggressive. He cornered plaintiff and started to grope her. Plaintiff pushed him back constantly. Defendant C. Combs then took off all of his clothes. His penis was erect and he grabbed her arms and was trying to force plaintiff to perform oral copulation on him. The plaintiff began fighting defendant C. Combs, and not long after, her partner on board entered the cinema. This startled defendant C. Combs, and the plaintiff was finally able to leave. God, bastards. The plaintiff's partner became concerned and went looking for the plaintiff after she had not returned to her room after her shift had ended. The morning after, plaintiff complained to the yacht's captain, Captain Peter Milkov. Captain Milkov berated the plaintiff. He lacked compassion or concern, failed to investigate, and insinuated that the plaintiff was probably voluntarily partying with the guests. She was not. Oh, God, what a dirtbag. Captain Milkov added insult to injury by assigning plaintiff to work in front of the house, which required personally serving defendant C. Combs while they were on the yacht. Plaintiff was not provided an option to be isolated or not have to serve defendant C. Combs. So he just willingly just assigned her that. That's awesome. These people are just unreal. Captain Lee would have thrown him overboard. Man, she should have thrown them all overboard. Plaintiff was 25 years old at the time of the attack. Based on information and belief, defendant S. Combs employees, including his drug mule, Brendan Paul, his chief of staff, Christina Coram, and his second in line, Frankie Santella, learned of what occurred and informed defendant S. Combs. Shortly after, Captain Milkov received a generous tip from defendant S. Combs in order to keep Captain Milkov quiet and keep him from protecting client or taking action on her behalf. Oh my God. Only a few members of the ship's staff were required to write statements. Plaintiff and her partner were the only two staff members not interviewed and not asked to write a statement. This is unbelievable. What do you guys think so far? What are your guys' thoughts? Just to catch up for a little bit. This is, I mean, they obviously have the evidence for if they're quoting exactly what the transcript of those audio recordings is. And to give the captain a reward, it's disgusting. And it's probably happened to him before. And so he knew that, in my opinion, by doing so, he'd probably get rewarded for it, you know? I don't know, just my suspicion. So, okay. Gosh, I feel bad. I keep like coughing. Um, uh, let's see. As a result of defendant Seacombe's sexual assault, plaintiff has suffered. Below are images of plaintiff's bruises because of defendant Seacombe's violently grabbing her and attempting to force her to perform oral copulation. And it's just her arms. So, I'm just gonna. That looks like you can see it more, I think. Wonder when she took those pictures. And the only reason I ask is because I can see some yellowing on him. I mean, regardless, it's still disgusting that he did that to her. Okay, let me look at something real quick. I just want to see how. So technically, we're on page 15, and this goes to page, if we cut out all the other stuff, that preservation, we're only looking at like 26. And even still, there's stuff we can jump around with that I can see. So we're not too far away from being done with this one. Let me zoom back in. Okay. It says it probably happened a lot with that family. Yeah. I mean, lawsuits against both of his sons now. Okay. According to plaintiff, the past year, 2023, has been the most deeply traumatizing time of her life. After defendant C. Combs' sexual assault and the subsequent cover up orchestrated by defendant S. Combs and his staff, plaintiff was isolated and retaliated against on the yacht. This isolation and retaliation finally resulted in plaintiff's termination by Captain Peter Milkoff on or around May 10th, 2023. Oh, that's sad. In addition to losing her employment, Plaintiff also lost her longtime partner with whom she had planned a future. Plaintiff's partner was never the same after seeing plaintiff's bruises on her body because of defendant C. Combs' sexual assault and having to deal with the mental and emotional ramifications, so they separated. I couldn't imagine. That's got to be tough, like really tough. Plaintiff's mental health deteriorated to the point that she was medicated and required intensive therapy. Additionally, she fell into a deep depression and was unable to fully carry out her maid of honor duties at the wedding of her only sister in June 2023, which she had been looking forward to doing for over 18 months. Plaintiff's anxiety and panic attacks prevented her from securing another permanent position in the yachting industry in 2023. Plaintiff had also developed a severe eating disorder as a result of the attack due to the shame and mental warfare she was experiencing that affected her body image and appetite. On several occasions, the effects of defendant C. Combs' sexual assault led plaintiff to have severe suicidal ideations. In addition, the plaintiff's psychological trauma, her physical health began to deteriorate. Plaintiff had several epileptic seizures. These seizures resulted in plaintiff losing her ability to privately do things she was accustomed to doing alone. Plaintiff now requires supervision to do basic activities like swim and bathing and is not required to inform people in public places that she is epileptic and requires supervision. Like the the trauma is extreme. Like that's pretty bad. Like she can't even bathe on her own now because of seizures. And I mean, not being able to be the maid of honor at your only sister's wedding. I don't know. It sounds like her whole entire life fell apart. Okay, so we're on to premises liability, and aiding and abetting for defendant S. Combs. According to the plaintiff, defendant S. Combs chartered the yacht and assumed responsibility for the actions of himself, his guests, and his family. Upon information and belief, defendant S. Combs fostered and encouraged an environment of debauchery. There was also a party atmosphere filled with suspected sex workers, suspected laced alcohol, violence, and sheer disrespect of women and the yacht's crew. Upon information and belief, defendant S. Combs did not have any safeguards in place to ensure there was no excessive drug use, no excessive drinking, and no importation of reported sex workers. I mean, let's be honest here. Why would he have safeguards in place if he was doing it himself, according to the other lawsuit? Defendant Combs' apparent failure to ensure there was a safe environment on the yacht was intentional. On one occasion, Christina Coram, defendant S. Combs' chief of staff, instructed plaintiff to ensure that the entire bar area was stocked with De Leon tequila and Ciroc vodka. It was important for defendant S. Combs to be surrounded by these bottles. On this occasion, defendant S. Combs was visibly intoxicated. Plaintiff is unsure if he was high from drugs, alcohol, or both. Out of nowhere, Christina Coram quickly approached plaintiff and ordered her to remove all the Ciroc and De Leon bottles. She was informed that Redacted 1 and Redacted 2 were boarding the yacht. At one point, defendant S. Combs exited the room. Redacted 1 and Redacted 2 entered the room, and defendant S. Combs returned sober, holding his newborn daughter. Let's go to the footnotes and see who this is. So it says she was informed. Let's go here. We're just going to do this and see if we can figure this out. She was informed that a famous female comedian and wife of a famous comedian and founder of a New York-based charity were boarding the yacht. At that point, defendant S. Combs exited the room. A wife of a female comedian, famous female comedian, and wife of a famous comedian and founder of a New York-based charity entered the room, and defendant S. Combs returned sober, holding his newborn daughter. Okay, who would that be about? A female comedian. Would that be about Ellen? A famous female comedian. Can you guys see the footnotes down there? Whoop. Shit. Would that be does a famous female comedian, wife of a famous comedian, and founder of a New York-based charity? The only person I can think of is Ellen. You guys will have to let me know who you think it is. I'll keep going though. And if you guys catch replay and you think of it, leave me a comment and let me know. So this all occurred within less than an hour. This incident led plaintiff to believe that defendant S. Combs knew right from wrong and had the ability and wherewithal to determine that the environment on the yacht was safe. He intentionally created an unsafe environment that gave license to defendant C. Combs to believe that he was free to sexually assault plaintiff. Defendant S. Combs allowed defendant C. Combs and his friends to behave carelessly as they observed and mimicked his actions. According to plaintiff, on many occasions, she witnessed young girls visiting the boat stay for less than 30 minutes in a cabin with a guest and leave. This led plaintiff to believe these girls were sex workers. Maybe Rosie O'Donnell. Hey, don't say much, by the way. I didn't see you come in if you came in earlier. It's good to see you. Maybe Rosie O'Donnell. Yeah, that could be too. I didn't think of that. This would have been in 2022. I'll be curious to see who this is. It seems like although it's like, what's the point of putting redacted when they give clues like this? Some of these are way too easy, you know? I think they intentionally did it this way, though, obviously. According to plaintiff, defendant S. Combs routinely engaged in and encouraged open illegal drug use while on the yacht. On several occasions, plaintiff witnessed defendant S. Combs smoking marijuana while receiving services from the yacht's crew members. He would not allow them to leave as he smoked, and as a result, several crew members had contact high. According to plaintiff, in another incident, defendant S. Combs had several women who plaintiff suspected of being sex workers on the yacht. In one incident, a girl was extremely upset and ran to the lower deck, locked herself in the massage room, and was hysterically crying. She said she did not feel safe and wanted to leave. The crew was alerted of this at this time. Sarah Chapman, one of S. Combs' children's mothers, was due to have a massage, so plaintiff had to attempt to remove this young woman from the massage room, but she was very reluctant as she felt unsafe. Eventually, she left. You're telling me that one of his kids' mothers was on board while all this shit happened? What the fuck? Oh my god, I thought it was, like, mostly Diddy and his sons. I didn't realize he had mothers of his children on board. Well, I mean, obviously not Kim Porter, but Lord, oh my god, that's even worse. Like, and she didn't nothing? I mean, even his chief of staff is a woman. She didn't give a shit either. Okay. According to too far up. According to plaintiff, on another occasion, defendant C. Combs lost a large bag of marijuana and required the crew to search the yacht for it. Oh my god. That's funny. According to plaintiff, on another occasion, while Hulu was filming, did Hulu do a documentary on him? Defendant S. Combs and his friends, including Young Miami, were playing a game called Carisha, Please? Defendant S. Combs was dared to expose himself. At that point, defendant S. Combs stood up, pulled down his pants, and exposed his penis. Plaintiff was standing beside the table and heard the commotion. Defendant S. Combs' mother was sitting beside him. Oh my god, now his mother was sitting beside him? Jesus, family is fucked up. Plaintiff then returned to the pantry and refused to stand by outside of the pantry for the duration of the service period. I mean, can you imagine? Merry Christmas. Let me just pull my pants down, Mom, while I pull out my dick. Yeah, his mom. I mean, that's how I read it. Where'd it go? Let's see. Defendant S. Combs and his friends, including Young Miami, were playing a game called Carisha, Please. I think that defendant S. Combs was dared to expose himself. At that point, defendant S. Combs stood up, pulled his pants pulled down his pants and exposed his penis. Plaintiff was standing beside the table and heard the commotion. Defendant S. Combs's mother was sitting beside him. Jeez. Unbelievable. There you go, Napa. Yep, his mom. I like as as a female, I could never imagine sitting next to my father and being like, "Oh, here's my tits." Like, to put it in a different perspective, like that's just disgusting. These people are gross. Okay, according to plaintiff, on another occasion during New Year's Eve, defendant S. Combs had guests who stayed until late afternoon the next day. A fight broke out between Justin Combs's friends. They physically assaulted each other and walked around the boat topless, screaming. Plaintiff and the crew felt very uneasy in this environment. At one point, one of the defendant S. Combs's guests shoved plaintiff's chief steward on the stairs and threw an object across the bar. According to plaintiff, on another occasion, she witnessed an argument between a woman and man. The man was upset and proceeded to physically assault her. Did I get that? Yeah. Like this is the wild, wild west on this yacht, I'm telling you. Okay. According to plaintiff, defendant S. Combs's assistant and noted drug mule Brendan Paul once came down to the pantry and was laughing uncontrollably. He told plaintiff that he had to sit and watch defendant S. Combs have sex with multiple women. He said defendant S. Combs wanted him present just in case he needed him to get him something while he was in the middle of the act. Plaintiff questioned why Brendan would want to work for defendant S. Combs if he was required to do such things, and Brendan replied that defendant S. Combs was a good link to have in the industry. According to plaintiff, when defendant S. Combs chartered the yacht, she witnessed and served several A-list guests on board, including rappers Redacted, 3, 4, 5, 6, as well as 7, and Cuba Gooding Jr. All right, let's see. Let me zoom out real quick so we can see who this is. She said she witnessed and served several A-list guests on board. So we got 3 through 7. Oh, okay. So we have, hopefully you guys can see that. We have a Philadelphia rapper, a 30-year-old Atlanta rapper who rose to prominence following the release of his 2017 mixtapes, a 25-year-old British rapper, a Moroccan rapper signed to Bad Boy Records and Maybach Music Group, former model and CEO of female urban clothing brand. Any clues that may be? Zoom in. Oop, that's too much. Philadelphia rapper, 30-year-old Atlanta rapper who rose to prominence following the release of his 2017 mixtapes, 25-year-old British rapper, Moroccan rapper signed to Bad Boy Records and Maybach Music Group, former model and CEO of female urban clothing brand. If I remember right, that's the last of the footnotes. So, if you guys see any of those, imagine having sex and your friend is there and you're like, hey, can you go get me water? Yeah, right? And if he recorded everything, can't imagine the stock load of images and videos he has on people being intimate, and they have no idea. Do you need me to put that back on the screen, Vault? I can always send this. Actually, I'll add this when I'm done with the stream, so you'll have it. I'll add it to my Diddy file. Okay, I'll continue on. Let's see. According to plaintiff, Cuba Gooding Jr. was extremely unpleasant to serve. He sat at the bar and made derogatory comments to plaintiff. He was visibly intoxicated, and she was in the room and witnessed him inappropriately touching producer Rodney Jones, who at the time was working on the Love album. As a result of the conduct of S. Combs and C. Combs, plaintiff continues to suffer serious harm. Oh, you got it? Okay. First cause of action, and there's 7 of those. A lot of it is repetitive, so I will basically be skimming through these. Central C is the British actor or British rapper. I don't know who that is. Central C. Huh. Have to make note of this. Central C. Have you guys heard of Central C before? The British rapper. So that's footnotes. 5. French Montana. I've never heard of him either. Okay, this is for the first cause of action for assault. Is the Moroccan? Oh, okay. This says, let's see, on or around December 28th, 2022, defendant C. Combs assaulted plaintiff by violently grabbing her, groping her legs, breasts, anus, and vagina. How do Okay, maybe I should just not ask this question because it's probably not appropriate. But oh, you know what? Okay, I'm just gonna say, how do you grab or grope an anus? These are just questions I have. Like they're talking about the actual butthole, right? Okay, he also tried to kiss her and proceeded to kiss her neck, face, and hands. Little Baby is the Atlanta one. That's number 4. Got super sleuths over here. Hand between the cheeks. Yeah, but to me, like, between the cheeks, though, is that considered? Okay, I'm getting too deep in this. I gotta stop thinking about this. Meek Mill is the Philly rapper. Oh, I think he was listed in the other one, too. In the footnotes, anyways. Prior to the assault, defendant C. Combs also forced plaintiff to drink alcohol, which she now believes was laced with drugs. Defendant C. Combs also exposed himself to plaintiff, bearing his naked erect penis trying to physically force plaintiff to perform oral copulation. Plaintiff was seriously bruised as a result of the attack. Plaintiff did not consent to any sexual assault or misconduct and was drugged, intoxicated by defendant Combs. And then it says defendant C. Combs caused harmful or offensive contact with an intimate part of the plaintiff's body as defined by California Civil Code, subsection 1708.5. I do have that pulled up, or I saved it, so we can always pull that up. This is pretty standard stuff. Let's see. Second cause of action is battery. On or around December 28, 2022, defendant C. Combs sexually battered plaintiff by violently grabbing her, groping her legs, breasts, anus, and vagina. He also tried to kiss her and proceeded to kiss her neck. Prior to the assault, defendant C. Combs also forced plaintiff to drink alcohol, which she now believes was laced with drugs. Defendant C. Combs also exposed himself to plaintiff, bearing his naked, erect penis, trying to physically force plaintiff to perform oral copulation. Plaintiff was seriously bruised as a result of the attack. Plaintiff did not consent to any of the sexual assault or misconduct and was drugged/intoxicated by defendant C. Combs. Kimora Lee Simmons is the former model. Oh, that makes sense. Because of her husband, I could see the connection there. Just writing these down real quick. Okay, and then it's got the same civil code. Third is against defendant C. Combs for sexual assault. And then it's got the same. I'm just trying to see if anything changed on this one. Plaintiff did not consent. It's all the same civil code there. I just don't want to have to keep reading it if it's the same thing. This one is against DIDDY'S, so it's defendant S. Combs, fourth cause of action. Defendant S. Combs leased, occupied, or controlled the yacht on which plaintiff was sexually assaulted and battered on the day and time plaintiff was sexually assaulted and battered. Defendant S. Combs had control over the staff and the happenings aboard the yacht. Defendant S. Combs completely controlled the premises of the yacht, allowing who he wanted on, throwing parties, having sex workers come to service his guests, allowing fights to occur, and nonstop illegal drug use and alcohol use. Defendant S. Combs had a valid lease giving him control of the yacht for the entire holiday season and occupied the yacht in order to throw lawless parties and allow illegal activities to occur. Over the 2022 holiday season, defendant S. Combs used the yacht that he leased and had control over as a location for mayhem, including illegal prostitution, drug use, and reckless partying. Defendant S. Combs was negligent in the use or maintenance of the yacht. Defendant S. Combs allowed and encouraged the people aboard his yacht, including his son C. Combs, to engage in the drugs and reckless behavior while aboard the yacht. Plaintiff was sexually assaulted and battered by defendant S. Combs' son, C. Combs, when he forced her to drink a likely laced drink, violently grabbed her, groped her, exposed his erect penis to her, and tried to force her to perform oral copulation on, oop, what did I say? I hit on him, all while on the premises of the yacht in question. Defendant C. Combs also tried to kiss her and proceeded to kiss her neck, face, and hands. Plaintiff was severely mentally, emotionally, and physically harmed while on the yacht. Um, Defendant S. Combs' negligence was a substantial factor in causing plaintiff's harm because of failing to properly use and secure the yacht, and for fostering an environment for drug use and assault to occur without ramifications. Let's see. It's pretty standard. Emotional distress. It's all pretty standard stuff. Fifth cause of action. We're almost done. This one is for aiding and abetting against defendant S. Combs. Let me go up here. The plaintiff realleges, oh, that's basic. Defendant S. Combs knew that an assault, battery, and sexual assault was being committed and was going to be committed against plaintiff because he encouraged and fostered an environment and culture to his son and his employees to do whatever they want with the plaintiff and the other yacht staff. S. Combs provided drugs and alcohol to be used to take advantage of many women on the yacht, including plaintiff. S. Combs knew plaintiff had been assaulted because he, quote, paid her off, end quote. The yacht captain, after hearing of plaintiff's complaint relating to his son, defendant S. Combs' assault, battery, sexual assault against plaintiff, defendant S. Combs' conduct was a substantial factor in causing harm to plaintiff's harm. Causing harm to plaintiff's harm. That's worded weird. Let's see, that's all standard stuff. Sixth cause of action, intentional infliction of emotional distress. On or around December 28th, 2022, defendant C. Combs assaulted plaintiff by violently grabbing her, grabbing her legs, breasts, anus, and vagina. Prior to the assault, defendant C. Combs was also forced plaintiff to drink alcohol, which she believes was laced. Defendant C. Combs also exposed himself to plaintiff, burying his naked, erect penis, trying to physically force plaintiff to perform oral copulation. This is very similar to the first ones that we read off. He also tried to kiss her and proceeded to kiss her neck, face, and hands. Plaintiff was seriously bruised as a result of the attack. Defendant's extreme and outrageous conduct alleged in this complaint, including but not limited to assault, sexual assault, and battery upon plaintiff, were done in wanton and reckless disregard of such consequences to plaintiff. Plaintiff now experiences seizures and has to constantly be helped by others for tasks that she could previously do independently. Plaintiff has also been unable to secure another job in the industry she knows and loves, the yachting industry, since she was wrongfully terminated from her position with the Fraser. Plaintiff's relationship with her significant other prematurely ended because her significant other could not bear to deal with the physical and emotional ramifications of the assault by C. Combs. Defendant Seacomb's actions were extreme and outrageous. As a direct and proximate result of said extreme and outrageous conduct by defendant Seacombs, plaintiff did suffer humiliation, mental anguish, and emotional and physical distress, and has been hurt and injured in her health, strength, and activity, sustaining an injury to her nervous system and person, all of which have caused, continue to cause, and will continue to cause plaintiff great mental, physical, and nervous pain and suffering. And the last cause of action is negligent infliction of emotional distress. I bet it's going to be similar. Okay, this is, let me see if there's anything different. It's the same. Sorry, I just don't want to repeat the same thing. Yep, it's all repeating the same thing. Doesn't give a dollar amount for damages, but it says that, I mean, her prayer for relief is basically pretty standard stuff. When she's wanting special damages, those are going to be your damages that are basically like a punishment to the defendant to pay the plaintiff an amount. I'll be interested to see what happens with this. I feel like she's going to need to have her former partner testify. They're probably going to put her through, if she hasn't already, to see an expert, kind of similar to in the Heard trial, to when they made Amber Heard go to see one of their experts and testify. I feel like it's going to be something similar to that. What sucks is that federal courts don't have, you can't stream federal courts. So nobody will be able to watch that case with Rodney Jones, but they may allow it for California. This case is pretty heavy. Let me stop sharing this real quick and I'll see if I can pull up that statute real quick. I think I have it up. No, I don't. Give me one second here. Okay, so the statute that they listed, this is going to be the statute here. So it's your California Civil Code subsection 1708.5. And you guys remember where this was listed at, towards the bottom. Poor girl, I can only imagine how many hundreds, if not thousands of other, yeah. Hey, ambulance girl, it's good to see you. We just finished looking over the documents, but the live will stay up so you can always catch up. It's good to see you though. Give me 1 sec, let me show you where that was at. 1 sec. So what I'm referencing now is going to be when you go back on if you are to go back and look at the stream in the documents, it's going to be when they reference these parts in green here. So I'm just showing you that so that way you know what I'm talking about. But this is that code here. So this is for the, because Napa, when you asked if it's criminal or civil, this is the civil code. No worries about missing it. It's okay. And it says that a person commits a sexual battery who does any of the following, and then acts with the intent to cause harmful or offensive contact with an intimate part of another, and a sexually offensive contact with that person directly or indirectly. Obviously, most people know what this is. I can link it down in the description box if you would like to read this yourself. Also, let me show you. Let me look here. I know I have I didn't plan to pull these up, so give me 1 second. Sorry, guys. Where is that's for damages. Here's the, now I can't see my screen. This was, I have to look at this was in the law review on the statute of limitations for sexual assault. So it says here that on January 1st, 2023, California expanded its statute of limitations for sexual assault claims, which permits survivors to file legal claims for a sexual assault that happened years ago. And then it goes into in the past decade, in large part thanks to the impact of the Me Too movement, sexual assault survivors have come forward in increasing numbers. Undoubtedly, in response to this movement, California has repeatedly redefined its statute of limitation for sexual assault cases to give survivors more opportunities to take legal action. Some of California's changes permanently increase the period of time a survivor can bring a civil claim for sexual assault. Other changes temporarily open a look back window during which a survivor can bring a civil claim for sexual assault that had otherwise expired. We recognize that the decision whether to pursue a sexual assault case is an incredibly sensitive and emotional one. And then it says a statute of limitations. Most people know what a statute of limitation is, but it says a statute of limitations sets a time limit for the maximum time that a person has to begin legal action from the date of the assault. In a civil sexual assault cases, the statute of limitation defines the length of time the plaintiff has to file a lawsuit after the assault. And then what is a civil claim for sexual assault? Some people may know this, but if you don't, maybe this helps you. If a person has been sexually assaulted, they can report the assault to the police. Prosecutors can determine whether to file charges based on that sexual assault. Each state applies its own statute of limitations to sexual assault criminal charges, which impact the length of time a prosecutor can wait to file criminal charges on behalf of a survivor of sexual assault. In California, regardless of whether the survivor has reported the sexual assault to the police, the survivor can pursue a civil claim for sexual assault. A civil claim for sexual assault is a claim for damages caused by the sexual assault, which may include medical costs, pain and suffering, lost income, and other losses. And then it says the statute of limitations. In California, the statute of limitations for bringing a civil claim for sexual assault depends on the survivor's age at the time. Let's see, childhood sexual assault. If the sexual assault occurred when the survivor was under 18 years old, California law permits a survivor to take legal action until the later of the date of the survivor turns 40 years old or within 5 years of discovering that psychological injury or illness occurring after the age of majority was caused by sexual assault. Adult sexual assault. California's recent statute of limitation expansions impact civil claims for sexual assault of adults depending on when the sexual assault occurred. And then this is for sexual assaults that occurred on or after January 1st, 2019. Let me see what else we have. That's what I was looking for. Okay, on January 1st, 2023, the Sexual Abuse and Cover Up Accountability Act, otherwise known as California Assembly Bill 2777, went into effect. This law opens up a 3-year look back window permitting survivors to file civil claims for sexual assault beginning on January 1st, 2023 and ending on December 31st, 2026. This 3-year window applies to sexual assault committed on or after July 1st, 2009, with the exception of claims that were litigated to uh, some children may block it out and not discover until adulthood. Yeah, that's very true. Let's see, where is it? And core or compromised by settlement agreement before January 1st, 2023. If not for this new law, if a survivor was sexually assaulted in California between January 1st, 2020 or 2009 and January 1st, 2019, the statute of limitations for their civil claim for sexual assault might have expired. This new law may permit survivors to take legal action for otherwise barred civil claims by reviving those claims during this 3-year look back window that closes on December 31st, 2026. So, what I'm going to do is I am going to link all of these resources in the description when I'm done with this stream. And I'm also going to provide the numbers for the help links as well. So that way, if someone does come across this stream and is looking for any help or resources, I'm going to make sure that that's all provided for you. Um, or anybody else that may need some help. And I hope that nobody ever feels that they're unworthy or that help is not available to them, because everybody is just as important and there's always help out there regardless, and everybody's life is important no matter who you are, and don't ever feel like it's not, and there's always someone to talk to. And if you don't feel like calling one of those helplines or reaching out to someone at one of the, the 1-800 numbers, there's plenty of resources that will text with you. Just please know you're not alone ever. And I hope that you know that, and you're important, and the world needs you. People in your family need you, and don't ever think that the world would be better without you, because that's not true. So, anyways, I will put all of those resources, everything that I have, I'll put that in the description box. Um, I'm I think that's a good place to end the stream and leave it on a thank you so much, Napa. I'm gonna see if I can pin that so that way it'll be pinned um, when the live's over. Hey, Danny, it's so great to see you. It's really good to see you. I think this is a good stopping point. And we left it at something that's really important. And if there's any other resources you guys want me to look into, please don't hesitate to let me know. And I'll certainly see what I can find, or um, look for someone that may be able to lead me in the right direction on where to find these resources. But I think that we need to speak on these things. There is another topic that we'll be speaking on pretty soon as well. I know that it's a important topic that a lot of people are not aware of, but it's a topic that we need to discuss, and we need to bring awareness to. So, with that, I'm going to end the stream here. I will not be um, gone all week like last week, so I do apologize for that. And I thank you so much for being here tonight with me, and I will see you guys very soon. If you enjoyed this stream, please consider subscribing. Please hit the like on your way out, or if you're watching a replay, please consider subscribing or liking the video. And I appreciate all of you. And I will see you guys in my next stream on Wednesday for sure. If I can make time, I'll pop on tomorrow. And I hope you guys have a wonderful day or night wherever you are, and a wonderful day tomorrow. With that, I hope you guys have a great night. Thank you so much. Bye bye.